fair is foul and foul is fair. These enigmatic words set the tone for William Shakespeare's Macbeth, a tragedy that dives deep into the human psyche, unraveling how ambition and moral corruption can intertwine to devastating effect. It's a tale of power sought, power held, and power lost, filled with betrayal, bloodshed, and the ultimate price of unchecked ambition. The play begins on a desolate heath shrouded in mist, where three witches congregate to weave their cryptic prophecies. These witches, supernatural harbingers of chaos, are the catalysts of the story. Their words to Macbeth and his comrade Banquo aren't just predictions, they're temptations. To Macbeth, they foretell immense power. Hail, Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor! Hail to thee, who shall be king hereafter! For Banquo, the prophecy is less direct, but no less tempting. His descendants, not he, will sit on the throne. These simple statements set everything into motion. At first, Macbeth dismisses the witch's words as nonsense. After all, he's a loyal general in King Duncan's service, fresh from a hard-fought victory against the invading forces of Ireland and Norway. But when news arrives that the title of Thane of Cawdor, the first step of the witch's prophecy, has indeed been granted to him, his resolve begins to falter. His letter to Lady Macbeth, his confidant and soon-to-be partner in crime, unleashes an unrelenting tide of ambition within her. Lady Macbeth yearns for power for her husband and clearly for herself. But where Macbeth hesitates, she presses on. To her, the path is simple. Seize the opportunity. If fate has promised Macbeth the throne, why not help fate along with a swift and lethal push? Her chilling determination is encapsulated when she calls on spirits to unsex her, to remove her femininity, her compassion, her weakness. Her strength lies where Macbeth's falters. She knows what must be done, and she is unflinching. When Duncan comes to their castle at Inverness for a celebratory feast, the stage is set for betrayal. In the dead of night, Macbeth grapples with his conscience. Duncan is not just his king, but his kinsman and guest. A murder would be both a personal and moral atrocity. Yet beneath his hesitations lies a darker voice, a voice whispering of power, legacy, and destiny. As he paces through the corridors, haunted by visions of a bloody dagger hovering before him, the choice becomes clear. Lady Macbeth reassures her wavering husband, dousing his doubts with steely resolve. Finally, Duncan meets a brutal end, stabbed to death in his sleep. The Chamberlains are framed for the crime, their drunken oblivion sealing their fates. When Duncan's murder is discovered, Macbeth feigns outrage and slaughters the guards in a calculated display of righteous anger. Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, flee the castle in fear, unwittingly paving the way for Macbeth to claim the throne. The witch's prophecy is fulfilled. Macbeth is King of Scotland. But as Macbeth finds, wearing the crown proves far heavier than seizing it. Fear begins to consume him. It is not enough to have power. He must keep it. He recalls the witch's cryptic words about Banquo, that Banquo's descendants would inherit the throne. Macbeth cannot bear the thought of his crown being tainted by someone else's legacy. Paranoia sets in like a poison, and Banquo, his once loyal friend, becomes a perceived threat. Macbeth orders Banquo and his son Fleance murdered. Yet fate, as always, intervenes. While Banquo is killed, Fleance escapes into the night. This loose end gnaws at Macbeth. And it's during a grand feast held to celebrate his rule that his guilt fully manifests. Banquo's ghost appears, visible only to Macbeth, sitting silently and accusingly at the table. Terrified and unable to control himself, Macbeth's behavior alarms his guests. Lady Macbeth tries to save face, but the cracks in their ruthless facade have begun to show. Desperate for answers, Macbeth turns once again to the witches. Deep within their hellish lair, they conjure visions that fuel his delusion of invincibility. They warn him to beware Macduff, a Scottish nobleman, but they also reassure him with seemingly contradictory prophecies. No man of woman born can harm him, and he will remain safe until Birnam Wood marches to Dunsinane Castle. Macbeth interprets these riddles as assurances of his immortality. Yet, much like before, these prophecies are double-edged swords. His actions grow more ruthless, more tyrannical. Aware of Macduff's growing opposition, Macbeth orders the slaughter of Macduff's entire household, his wife, his children, and his servants. The act is monstrous even for Macbeth, and it turns the tide of sentiment definitively against him.